Sentire Media.
Welcome to the Stop Italian Sounding podcast, uncovering authentic Italian food. I'm your host, Robert Campana, and join me as we delve into the rich heritage of genuine Italian food, exploring its legends, history, and traditions. Through important tips and insightful interviews with industry professionals, you'll gain a deeper understanding of authentic Italian food. Welcome back, everyone, to the Stop Italian Sounding show, uncovering authentic Italian food. So, for today's episode, we're going to talk about one of Italy's most colorful and festive celebrations. I'm referring to Carnevale. Now, you might be wondering what exactly is Carnevale. So Carnevale is Italy's version of, for lack of a better term, carnival, similar to that of Mardi Gras, as we would say. And it takes place in the weeks leading up to Lent. So traditionally, it was a time to, let's just say, indulge in rich foods before the fasting period of Lent, or Quaresima, known in Italian. And this is why many of the foods associated with Carnevale that we're going to talk about in today's episode are fried, sweet, and just simply delicious. They were a way for people to, of course, use up leftover ingredients, things like eggs, sugar, and butter before the fasting season started. But Carnevale isn't, of course, just about food. It's a very vibrant, let's say, and theatrical celebration with deep historical roots. So many of Italy's most famous Carnevale events include Venice's Carnevale. So we're talking about celebrations with its elegant masquerade balls and very famous and intricate masks. And then we have Viareggio's Carnevale, which is known for its very large and massive satirical papier-mâché floats. And then a very interesting one that most people outside of Italy don't really think of is Ivrea's Battle of the Oranges, where locals reconnect and reenact a medieval revolt by throwing oranges at each other in the streets. So something that is quite interesting. Anyway, no matter where you are in Italy, Carnevale is a time of fun. It's a time of joy, indulgence, and yes, of course, food. So again, in this episode, we're going to dive into a few of the Carnevale desserts and how they vary by region. So if there's one thing that unites Carnevale across Italy, it is the fried desserts. And during this time of year, Italian bakeries are filled with golden, crispy pastries dusted with sugar and filled with rich cream. So let's take a look at some of the most iconic ones. I'm going to start with chiacchiere. So chiacchiere is the ultimate Carnevale dessert. They're thin, they're crispy, they're fried pastries, and they're found all over Italy throughout this time period. But they may go by different names depending on where you are in Italy and what region you're in. For example, if you're in Rome, you may hear frappe. Piemonte, you may hear bugie. You may hear the word cenci if you're in Tuscany, crostoli in Trentino, and the list goes on and on. I do have to mention that in my region of Molise, we do say cioffe. It's a word that I grew up with. I've always known them as cioffe. And when I heard other names, I said, no, absolutely not. They're cioffe 100%, but that's just me. So anyway, despite the different names, they all share the same delicious, delicate, flaky texture. So a proper chiacchiera, we'll just use the word chiacchiera for now because it seems to be the most generic term throughout Italy. The proper one should be light, should be crispy, and should literally shatter in your mouth when you eat. They're not thick. They're definitely not chewy. So they are usually also sprinkled with powdered sugar, but some variations are drizzled with honey or even dipped in chocolate. So the chiacchiere are indeed one of the best and most popular desserts you will find in this time period around Italy. Next, we have the castagnole. So the little bite-sized desserts, and they're named after the word castagne. So castagne in Italian mean chestnuts, and that's of course due to their round shape and the fact that they're small, deep-fried balls. And of course are another Carnevale favorite. And you'll find them plain, dusted with sugar, or filled even at times with custard or ricotta or chocolate, and sometimes even soaked in liquor for the extra kick, if you will. They're soft on the inside, crispy on the outside, and a well-made castagnole is, let me tell you, dangerously addictive. So you have to be careful with that. So the next thing I want to talk about is frittelle. So frittelle are something from Venice. So if you're in Venice during Carnevale, I've never been there. I wish I had gone when I lived in Italy for the year, but it's just so crowded with so many people, and at times it's difficult to get there. But it's something that you should experience once in your life. But anyway, if you are indeed in Venice during Carnevale, you have to try the frittelle. So these are fried dough balls, again fried, and they're a little fluffier than castagnole and could be paired. Um, let's just say they could be plain or stuffed with things like zabaione. So zabaione is delicious, a rich egg-based cream with marsala wine. They could all be stuffed with raisins as well, or pine nuts, or chocolate, or ricotta. And Venetians take the frittelle very seriously, and for good reason. And every bakery around Venice competes, of course, to make the best ones, just like every other bakery around Italy, always competing with each other, trying to make the best thing. And that's why the products that they do make are of extremely high quality, because they're always competing with each other. Mine's better than yours. So the next thing I want to talk about briefly is the sanguinaccio. So sanguinaccio is one of the lesser known but historically important Carnevale sweets. It is traditionally with, let's just say, rich chocolate pudding, believe it or not, made with pig's blood. So it gives it a very deep and velvety texture. But today, most versions omit the blood. Some, traditionally speaking, do have it, but some of the modern ones omit the blood, but they do keep the very intense chocolate flavor, often spiced at times with cinnamon or orange zest. So, of course, no Italian feast or party or to get together is complete without a good drink. So here are a few things Italians could enjoy or could pair with some Carnevale treat. So I think of Vinsanto, which is a Tuscan dessert wine that pairs very nicely with chiacchiere or castagnole. Moscato d'Asti also is something that pairs very nicely. So we're talking about a lightly sparkling sweet wine that enhances flavors of these fried desserts that we just mentioned. And then we have the bombardino. So the bombardino is a rich egg-based alcoholic drink, similar to eggnog, if you will, that's popular in northern Italy during the winter time. And if you want something non-alcoholic, a good espresso obviously is always the perfect choice, is always the go-to. So if you want to bring the authentic flavors of Carnevale into your home, and you're not in Italy, you can't go to that Carnevale di Venezia or Ivrea or wherever it may be, you could try and recreate these desserts at home. So you could make your own chiacchiere or castagnole. They're not that difficult. The ingredients are very simple. We're talking about things like flour, egg, sugar, and a splash of liquor for extra flavor. And the key to success is indeed frying them in high quality oil, of course, and keeping them light and crisp. Why not even host a Carnevale themed dinner? I mean, if you want to bring Carnevale to you, if you can't go there, serve classic Italian dishes, wear masks, because of course, if we're talking especially about the Carnevale di Venezia, mask wearing is an art. And then finish that meal with, of course, the desserts that we just talked about, so frittelle or chiacchiere. Also, if you're in an area, if you're lucky enough to be in an area in the United States where you can find a good Italian pastry shop or bakery, most likely they're creating Carnevale treats. So make sure you pay them a visit and you pick up those Carnevale treats from your favorite bakery. And if you can, avoid mass produced or overly thick, let's just say chiacchiere. So we're trying to go for the real deal, if of course you have it. If not, make it at home if you can. And then, of course, we want to learn about Italy's regional traditions. So Carnevale is celebrated differently across Italy. So what I said today is literally the tip of the iceberg. It's not a one-size-fits-all type of thing. And every region has its own unique customs. So whether it's an elegant Venice mask or the chaotic battle of the oranges in Ivrea, there's always something brand new to discover in Italy when it comes to Carnevale. So anyway, here you have it. Carnevale, it isn't just about mass and parades, even though that is a big part. It is time to indulge in real Italian traditions, especially when it comes to food, the thing I love to talk about. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the stories of authentic Italian cuisine. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more insights and interviews. Also, feel free to reach out with your thoughts or questions on our social media channels at Stop Italian Sounding or on our website, stopitasounding.com. Grazie a tutti e alla prossima.
Sentire Media. Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com. That's SENTIRE media.com and find out how to submit your show.